Well, it is now Wormhole Wednesday for real. The W token is currently claimable, so if you qualify for this airdrop, you can go collect your tokens and actually see them in your wallet. Now, the claim process is pretty simple. Just connect your wallet to the official airdrop.wormhole.com page. Go through the steps to verify your eligibility. You can connect multiple different wallets to the same claim and then claim all the tokens at once. So if you qualified on an Ethereum wallet, on a Solana wallet, on a Say wallet, Injective, whatever, you can just input all of that here, sign a bunch of messages with them, and then claim all the tokens. And the tokens right now are going to your Solana wallet. Now, in terms of how the token has been trading since the launch, it's currently at $1.43 per W token. It's not doing spectacularly. It's certainly not having the type of pump that, say, EtherFi or ENA did. However, it is still early days. So with my public wallets here, I managed to claim 2,400 tokens. I sold a couple because I needed to do one thing, but I'm actually planning on doing a bunch of other stuff with them. And I don't feel like selling at this price. I'm gonna wait until some of the airdrop jitters get out, and then hopefully we'll see a post airdrop pump for this one. Although of course this is not financial advice, I have no idea what this token is going to do, and part of the reason why I'm planning on keeping at least a significant portion of this is that I'm strategizing on what I can do to leverage it to increase the size of my airdrop snowball moving forward. But we'll get to that in a second. Now, I just wanted to say I've been getting a bunch of DMs from people on Twitter, messages in my Discord channel of people saying they watched my tutorials on Wormhole and actually qualified for this airdrop. So if you followed along with one of these two videos that I produced, then you certainly would have gotten a decent allocation just by clicking a couple of buttons. So this is my public Solana wallet here. I literally just created this to make tutorials on the channel, and I barely farmed the Wormhole airdrop with this. I literally only did what I showed in these two videos and qualified for about 2,400 tokens. So congratulations to everybody that qualified for this, especially if you got it from watching my videos. And if you didn't, don't worry, because there's still a lot of opportunities moving forward. Now, in terms of what you can actually do with the W token, the roadmap was actually released yesterday. And if we scroll down here, you'll notice that they say you will be able to lock W tokens, so basically stake them or self-delegate them to participate in on-chain governance. And you're going to be able to do this on both Solana and EVM chains. And they talk in here about how while the token is starting on Solana, it's going to be bridgeable eventually to other chains as well. And this piece right here is one of the main reasons why I'm planning on holding a decent chunk of my allocation. I might sell another bit off if the price of it goes up a bit, but I am planning on staking a decent chunk of it because it has been widely speculated that Monad will drop to people that stake the W tokens and to people that stake the Pi tokens. These projects are all closely interlinked. There's been a lot of hints at stuff like this, and so that is why there's a reasonable expectation that by staking W tokens, you will qualify for a Monad airdrop, which is one of the most hyped new layer ones that's launching later this year. But staking is currently not enabled. I'm sure there's gonna be people commenting on this video down below asking, what can I do with my W token? Is staking enabled? No, it's not yet enabled. It will be soon. But if you want to do something with your token before that, you can actually already take it over to Camino and you can deposit it. You can do LP, but that's a bit risky because you could actually lose some of your tokens through impermanent loss, but you can actually deposit it on Camino Lend. And MarginFi is going to be enabling the W token as well soon. So you can just deposit it onto the MarginFi platform, hold it on one of these platforms until staking is enabled, and then you'll accumulate some points for MarginFi or Camino. And then once the staking is actually live, you could withdraw it and then actually stake it. So that is what I am planning on doing with my W token. And by the way, I forgot to mention this at the beginning. If you traded over $5,000 worth of volume on the Backpack exchange before March 18th, you get a nice little allocation of the W token from Backpack as well. So I would say this has been a well-executed airdrop. A lot of people qualified for this one. It was a surprise airdrop, which is one of the better types. And while they did sort of drag it out a bit between when the announcement happened and when the actual token was dropped to the wallets, I am happy with the way that this played out. All right, let's move now to the future. What airdrops can you expect to qualify for later this year? So this tweet here from Hey Cape is interesting. I don't know if every single one of these is fully confirmed. I'm sure that they're not. However, it's interesting to see the sheer number of projects that are dropping tokens imminently. So we've already had Athena and Wormhole just this week. Tomorrow, the Zeus Network airdrop we know is coming through. And then there's so many other big names that are happening. We've got Parcel, we've got Tensor, we've got Mode, that's supposed to be happening sometime at the end of April. Swell Network as well, liquid staking and restaking token, and now they're launching their own L2 as well. And then potentially ZK Sync as well. Those are what I would consider to be sort of the tier 1 airdrops within this. And then of course there's a bunch of other airdrops in here as well, although some of these I would not expect to be that lucrative, like the Have a meme coin, for example. And then as we go further out, there's even more that are dropping. All of the other liquid restaking tokens, a bunch of other bridges, including the Layer 0 token, hopefully soon. And the list just goes on and on and on. And so this is what I'm talking about. If you didn't get the W token, do not give up hope, because there's still plenty of opportunities. Okay, next up, the Linea Park is coming to an end tomorrow. So you now have basically 24 hours or less than 24 hours to complete all of the tasks. And then you want to make sure that you do proof of humanity in order to get your allocation from this. I'm so happy that the Linea Park experience is over. I actually did this on 2 wallets, basically to the same level here, and I just faded a few of the annoying ones where you had to download a separate app in order to complete that task. And I honestly hope that the most annoying part of the Linea airdrop campaigns are over. That's 2 full-length campaigns that they've launched, and the next one that's coming up, if they actually go through with it, looks like it's going to be a little bit more passive, more focused on bridging capital and providing liquidity, which doesn't involve this type of annoying level of clicking buttons. Moving on now to Jumper. So they launched their new loyalty pass season 2 yesterday, and I spoke about it briefly, but there's additional details that came out now. So for starters, they're going to have dynamic PFPs based on your on-chain transaction history, and the more transactions you do between different chains and different tokens, and the more volume that you do, you level up your PFP, which is a cool little feature. But then the other thing that I found interesting is that it looks like they're going to be launching specific tasks or quests or missions to complete for specific chains. So in this screenshot here, they hinted there's going to be a bunch of tasks to bridge to the Scroll L2. And these are going to come with big experience points boost. So I would say this is now becoming similar to what Orbiter Finance is doing with their campaign. They started off just giving you badges for the number of transactions that you did, but then they added these specific missions and experience points. And it looks like the XP that you can get from some of these missions here is going to be a lot more than what you could get from doing their more generic tasks, just bridging between different chains. And while I wouldn't say that I'm super excited to see the launch of a new questing platform, at least I would say that the Jumper Bridge is a good one. It's one of my go-tos, and they don't charge outrageous fees like Orbiter Finance does, so I will probably happily participate in this. Okay, next up, speaking of bridging, yesterday I mentioned how you could use BricsMint to mint these throwaway NFTs and increase your smart contract count. You can mint up to 30 of them on these 5 different chains, and each one that you mint adds a new smart contract, which helps you level up in your ranking for those airdrops. But one thing that I wanted to mention and totally forgot to mention was that they also have a way to farm the Layer 0 airdrop directly in this application as well, with this NFT bridge tab. And so what you do with this one is you mint another throwaway generic NFT. So let's say I'll do one on ZK Sync. Now the cost for one of these is currently about $1.15 after gas fees. So I mint the NFT, and then I can bridge the NFT routed through the Layer 0 protocol. So this is another way that you can increase a unique smart contract counter for Layer 0, and then also hit transactions on the network that you minted on. Now, I would say that the bridge is more expensive than the generic mints. You can mint them for a couple of cents, but to bridge it, in total, this transaction cost me about $5. So do this sparingly. It's kind of like using Merkley's feature where you just mint generic NFTs and bridge them to different networks. It's a decent way to farm airdrops, rank up the number of transactions and smart contracts that you've interacted with. But obviously it's kind of like throwing money away and then hoping it's going to come back in the form of an airdrop. So that is the other feature of this BricsMint page that I wanted to show you yesterday and just totally forgot. Okay, next up, this morning I dropped a video showing how you can leverage up on the Athena Finance airdrop for season 2 using Pendle, but actually Gearbox just increased their cap space, so you can actually now use Gearbox to leverage up on this as well. Now, the only issue with this is that in order to use leverage on the points for Athena USDE, you have to do it on Ethereum mainnet. So this right here actually is the option, and you can use up to 9x leverage to farm Athena shards or sats for season 2. although obviously I wouldn't recommend using maximum leverage. And the pros of using this are that you can use leverage but not lose the value of your capital over time like you do with Pendle. And the cons of using this are that you have to pay Ethereum mainnet transaction fees. And the actual leverage on the sats or points that you earn is not going to be 180. So depending on the amount of leverage you use on Gearbox versus Pendle, one could be higher than the other. I personally already aped into Pendle, and I like the fact that it's on the layer 2 on Mantle, where transaction fees are super cheap. And it's also a multi-airdrop qualifier there. You get some eigenlayer points, and you might actually benefit from Mantle airdrops in the future. So I'm comfortable using the Mantle Pendle strategy, but Gearbox on ETH mainnet is another decent way to farm season 2 of Athena. Okay, next up, Nemada finally came out of the woodwork and announced that they're actually still around and they're still doing stuff for their airdrop. I took this screenshot last December showing my potential allocation for the Nemada airdrop, and honestly, I was thinking that they had just disappeared like Frame and were never coming back. But today they actually announced that they are still around and they have a 5-phase decentralized launch process, i.e. airdrop. But the good thing is that the token is coming on phase 1 with the block party. You'll be able to access your Genesis NAM balance. Now, there's no actual dates associated with this roadmap, but hopefully now that they're actually talking about it again, it means it's coming imminently. So stay tuned for more details on this one. Next up, there's another meme coin that has been airdropped to a bunch of people using the BitGet wallet. If you use that wallet and we're collecting BWB points, 8,000 addresses actually got this coin. The meme coin is called MOEW. It's on the base L2, but I don't use this wallet and I'm not getting this airdrop. So honestly, I can't endorse any of it, but if you want to check your wallet, you may have qualified. All right, next up, there's a new airdrop going around that's potentially a multi-airdrop qualifier on the Zora L2. So Enjoy, which is the first tradable ERC20, it's a meme coin on the Zora L2. It was launched and airdropped to a few people a little while ago, but they've actually launched their new airdrop campaign similar to Degen on Base, where you can tip and receive tips of the Enjoy token. And the way that you would do that is when you mint an NFT on the Zora platform, you can comment and tip people. So you'll see on this NFT mint here from Imagine Zora that a bunch of people are tipping the Enjoy token. So the same way that you would tip Degen on Farcaster, people are doing this now on the Zora L2, minting NFTs. And so you can participate in future rounds of this airdrop by tipping and by receiving tips on your NFT collections. But the one thing I'll say, it's a little bit of a barrier to entry, is that you need to have a minimum balance of 500K Enjoy tokens in your wallet to actually get a weekly tip allowance and to participate in this. And at the current price, that would cost about $250 to acquire. Next up, Al2 Finance launched a new Galaxy campaign where if you have a role in their Discord, you follow them on Twitter, and you deploy a smart contract on Al2 Finance, you can collect an NFT. And by the way, deploying the smart contract is on the Scroll L2. So a multi-airdrop qualifier here, you got L2 and you have Scroll. And so all you have to do is select Scroll here, hit deploy, change the network in my wallet here, and then sign the transaction. Now the transaction in the end cost me just under $2 for that. I've deployed a generic smart contract to Al2 Finance, and now if I go back over here, I should be able to claim my NFT. So I think this is a solid thing to do. Not that many people had done it as of the time of this recording, and it's again a multi-airdrop qualifier. You're increasing your airdrop surface area. Next up, there's a bunch of new quests on Galaxy for Merlin Chain. I don't think I've shared these ones before, so if you're trying to farm this airdrop, it's a pretty hyped up new Bitcoin L2. And at this point, we know not to fade Galaxy campaigns for really hyped up projects because often it appears that it actually comes with rewards. So yeah, that is it for today's alpha video. Hopefully you found this all helpful. As always, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.